Good afternoon. It's a little after 2:20 on Friday the 20th of March. Welcome to this special live programme from Highflyers Research, just a little later than we planned. I'm Martin Birchall, and at this time of year I'd normally be planning to get ready for the launch of our annual student research, the UK Graduate Careers Survey, and hosting the Times Graduate Recruitment Awards at a packed auditorium in King's Cross. But this is a year like no other, so I'm here in a TV studio in a near-deserted centre of London. So why are we on air at all? Well, our annual awards recognise the huge amount of time, passion and drive that employers across the country put into recruiting university students and graduates each year. We completed our interviews with finalists from the class of 2020 less than 3 weeks ago, just days before the effects of the coronavirus began to be felt in the UK. Now, given how quickly things have changed already, we wanted to bring recruiters together now to share the successes and triumphs of their graduate recruitment over the last few months. So there's no champagne, not in the studio at least, and no bar to celebrate or commiserate in afterwards, but we hope today's programme will enable us all to mark the achievements of the country's top graduate recruiters together. Now, we're all learning how to do things differently at the moment, so we'll see shortly how an hour and a half of live broadcasting goes. For those of you in the office or working on site, I hope you'll cheer along as the awards are announced later. And for those of you working from home, well, we'll do our best to fill in the long gap between loose women and pointless. Now, I'm not self-isolating, and I'm delighted that Tim Wise, Research Director from Highflyers Research, is with me in the studio, because before we announce today's awards, we want to spend a few minutes discussing how universities, students and graduate employers are reacting to the current crisis. So Tim, it's been an unbelievable 2 or 3 weeks in the UK. Of course, everybody in the country impacted by the spread of the coronavirus. Yeah. Students, graduate employers and universities all reacting in different ways. You've spent some time this week talking to many of our student managers around the country. We're based at 34 universities. How are they faring in the current situation?
Hi. It's very curious being here in the studio instead of with everybody, but we hope everybody's safe, and that's basically what we've been trying to get in touch and find out about with our university managers as well. Some are self-isolating, actually still at university, while most others have returned home by this stage. But realistically, the message at the moment is just confusion. They're just uncertain about what's going to happen. They don't know if they're going to graduate or when they're going to graduate. They don't know how exams would work. And at this stage, it's still a little bit up in the air for all of them.
And this comes off the back of the very dramatic announcement just 2 days ago that, of course, schools closing later on today, and for the first time in memory, the GCSEs and A-levels being abandoned altogether. Yeah. Where do students stand in terms of potentially doing their exams perhaps later in the year or having another way to graduate?
Yes, that's exactly right. With the university students, there is some other options for those who have just done their GCSEs or not done their GCSEs and their A-levels. That will likely, it looks like it'll have to be teacher recommendation and assessment, because there is a finite period of time for those groups before they move into their next academic years. For university students, there may be the opportunity to do things at a later stage, as you say. It looks likely at the moment that a number of universities are going to shift their exams online, but there's still not very much detail, as you can imagine, about exactly how that will work, and therefore when each of these students will be able to graduate as well.
Now, the universities themselves would have been shutting for Easter by now anyway. Many terms finished about a week ago. Campuses remain open, so for students who can't get home, perhaps returning to their families, they're able to continue living at university. But face-to-face teaching has now been suspended at all the universities that we're working with. And a number of universities like the LSE have already talked about pushing their teaching for next term online and potentially doing digital exams as well. So is that something which potentially is an option for some graduates?
I think it will be. I think we'll see that across a range of different universities across the country. They have to figure out how to do that in a secure way, first of all. I think this week, a lot of it has been about helping to ensure the safety of their staff and students while still trying to figure those pieces out. So, it feels like we've had a year's worth of activity in the space of 5 days. And I think that's going to continue. So nobody's got all of the answers yet, but, all of them are working on that as hard as they can.
Now, you've also been busy talking to graduate employers over the last 48 hours. Tell me a little bit about what they've been sharing with you.
So they very kindly filled in the quickest poll we've ever done, I suspect, sort of 24 hours. And I've got those results here on my laptop simply because it's literally hot off the press. But we wanted to check what the state of the nation is at the moment, if you like, with the leading employers, because many are still going through assessment centres or interview processes at the moment. How does that look? What's going on? Or what are their plans for the summer and beyond? So we asked just a very quick little questionnaire for them. We talked to them about the idea of what is going on for assessment centres at the moment. Probably no surprise to anybody that everything has turned virtual. And some are having greater success with that than others, if I'm honest. It sounds like there are a few who are delaying some of those assessment centres or final stage interviews until they know that they've got something very robust in place in a digital way. Others are suggesting that it's also impacting all the other pieces of their recruitment that they're going through as well, particularly apprenticeship recruitment, and that perhaps needs a little bit more hand-holding than some of the students would do as well. So they want to make sure that what they've got not only is robust from an employer perspective, but actually is very fair and in a sense welcoming to the individual candidates as well, to put them at ease, because this will be a really new scenario for each of them as well.
Now, of course, most of the early rounds for graduate selection would have been online already. So what we're really talking about is assessment centres and final round interviews either being pushed back or done in different ways.
Yep.
Lots more people making use of online live interviews, something which potentially is going to make a big difference if people are very keen to get on with the process. You talked about a number of employers potentially just suspending things for a little while. Do you get a sense of how many employers have actually finished for this year versus how many are still in flow?
So at least a quarter of those that we spoke to said that we have absolutely finished, and everyone else is at some very final stages of things. So for many, it's not that they have enormous numbers of final stage assessments still going on. It's just the last few, and that causes its own challenge because obviously they're changing methodology from face-to-face into online, and you've got a different cohort doing different things.
So beyond the assessment process, the most immediate pressure I know for lots of recruiters will be what to do about either Easter or summer work experience programs. What have recruiters been telling you? So
this one's really hard for people to answer. So it's probably no surprise that about 2/3 of them said we're reviewing the situation right as it stands. Around 1 in 6 said that we plan to, we very much hope to, and we plan to keep the programs in place that we've got. It came from a very wide range of different industry groups, typically relatively short experience programs that they're talking about. So many are also holding on, hoping that by the time July or somewhere around about there comes through. I think our fearless leader said that, 12 weeks, and we hope to have hit things very hard. A lot of employers are suggesting, well, maybe that we'll be okay, we'll be able to weather the storm until then and actually still keep it up and running. But others are looking at alternatives. So there's a lot of people talking about virtual internships in some way, shape or form, or a shorter training session or taster events if they can't provide the full face-to-face experience.
So, of course, incredibly hard to do even things at that level if the majority of your workforce are still working at home. Very difficult to bring people into an organisation under those circumstances. Yeah. Have people talked about how they might do things virtually? Is it practical to run a work experience program of several weeks on a remote basis?
Several weeks is really challenging, definitely, but there are some that are already out there and have been out there for a little while, which are much shorter virtual internship pieces. So I think people are focusing on how the successes of those have worked in the past and trying to emulate something similar if they can.
Is your sense, though, that potentially we may end up with a number of those programs postponed altogether or ones that don't go ahead for this summer?
Yeah, I think we'll have to. I think there will be many employers that simply don't think that they can provide anything that's genuinely worthwhile in that sense. It'll be too challenging to do something in a virtual way in such a short period of time. So this time round, they may have to stop and postpone altogether.
Now, the employers we've been talking to, the Times Top 100 graduate employers, they were all set to recruit around 25,000 new graduates to start work in September. Clearly, there's now a question mark on start dates. What sort of things have recruiters been telling you about how they're viewing that side of things?
So if they have completed their recruitment processes already and they're lined up with the numbers that they thought, particularly for the September-October period, interestingly at the moment more than half said we plan to keep all of those positions and those start dates in the timeframes that they're currently at. Okay. Everybody else is saying too early to tell. We hope to be doing that, but at the moment we expect or hope that we're going to be clear by October time. So let's see where the wind blows for the next couple of weeks before we make any other decisions about that. But the message that appears to be going back from employers to students is, particularly for those graduate start dates at the beginning of September, October, at the moment it's business as usual for most of them.
So trying to draw all of that together, I think there's probably a very strong sense that whilst job hunting may not be a high priority for a lot of students at the moment, in the coming weeks, they may actually find themselves with a fair bit of time on their hands, and they'll be in a position to take part in more selection processes if it's a virtual experience. If they can't do their summer work experience, perhaps that's something that could be pushed into the autumn, particularly if there's differences in terms of when people go back to university. But for those actually starting work in the autumn, if those start dates are postponed, I guess the key to all of this is good communication.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen it before, not to the same extent as this, obviously, but we've seen this in other cycles in previous times. The communication that employers can put out, the reputation that they hold on to on campus because of how they operate and treat and look after each of these cohorts, which hopefully will be coming through, or even if they have to be postponed, how they look after them at that point will pay huge dividends for the years ahead as they continue to recruit, years 2, 3, 4. Time.
And of course, it's very difficult to focus on at the moment, but graduate recruitment has always been a medium and long-term investment for employers. So irrespective of whether people can start as normal in September, whether few of those opportunities are postponed or cancelled, there will still be a need as we go forward for middle managers in 3 and 5 years' time, who are the graduates who are likely to be joining in the next few months. So very important that pipeline continues, even if perhaps it has to be pushed back 2 or 3 months beyond the normal start dates.
Yeah, completely. And employers are recognising that. I think most of them are saying we're going to continue with a significant presence or activities, whatever they may look like, back out on campus or virtually come the next academic year, because they know that this is a long-term piece. As you say, there's a lot of forward planning which goes into particularly graduate recruitment. And so they know that that's something that is as necessary as possible. It's just a little bit too early to say exactly what that activity and focus will look like at this point, but there's some encouraging messages coming through from employers.
And as you say, if you look back to previous times of difficulty, so the recession 10 years ago, you and I both worked in graduate recruitment in some shape or form for over 25 years, so we remember the recession after 9/11 and the downturns in the 90s as well. And in each case, the employers who I think came off best are those who postponed start dates, still took their graduates into their organisation, but were just that little bit flexible in terms of when people started, as opposed to withdrawing offers altogether.
Yes, completely. And, nobody's suggesting that everybody's got all the answers at the moment, but that honest, open sense of integrity with the communications that you have with each of those students, irrespective of when they might be joining into you or not, will pay all of those dividends in the future.
Now, while I've still got you, let's just say a few very quick words about what we're doing in terms of our latest research. We're not going to be presenting the results of the UK Graduate Careers Survey or the Law Student Survey today. For all the employers who are part of the programme, they'll be starting to see their results in about 2 weeks' time, and we'll be delivering the usual set of presentations and reports, albeit digitally, given the current circumstances.
Yeah.
And between you, Sal and Zoe, a very busy time through April, briefing all of the employers on their individual results as well.
Yes, we will absolutely make sure that everything is there, including vote analysis, profile and appeal on campus, etc. Everything that each of the research employers that we work with have come to expect. Sadly, we just won't be able to do it in the same room as everybody, but that doesn't mean that we won't get it there.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much indeed. So, that brings us on to the main business of the day. It's all about the Times Graduate Recruitment Awards. Now, there are three parts to today's awards, and we're going to start with those who are the best graduate recruitment marketing in 2020. We have 4 individual awards for employers' graduate websites, brochures, adverts, and the best use of social media. Now, all the results for these awards are drawn from our nationwide programme of research groups held on campus earlier this year with over 1,000 final year students at the UK's top 34 universities completed for this year's UK Graduate Careers Survey. Now, before I announce the winners, we'll be showcasing the 6 shortlisted employers in each category in alphabetical order to give you a flavour as to why their marketing campaigns have proved so successful. So our first award celebrates the best graduate recruitment adverts. Now, in a digital age, you might wonder about the value of traditional print advertising, but for up to half of all student job hunters, their first glimpse of graduate employers is through advertising in directories, information in their local careers service, or on-campus posters. So having eye-catching copy and an effective message remains as important as ever. So, which are the 6 adverts that caught the imaginations of this year's students? Let's take a look. The first shortlisted advert is from retailer Aldi. Students liked the advert's striking photograph and thought-provoking headline. They appreciated the use of bullet points to highlight essential information about the graduate programme and the punchy, well-written copy that helped readers delve further into the role on offer. It was produced by Penner. Our second advert is from professional services firm BDO. Job hunters were drawn to the warm colour tones and friendly-looking image and thought the interplay between the employer's name and the main heading was novel. They liked the clear description of the firm's graduate programmes and the prominent statement of BDO's values at the foot of the page. The advert was produced in-house. The next shortlisted advert is from international law firm Herbert Smith Freehills. Job hunters described the advert as bright, colourful and attention-grabbing. Students liked the way the advert used infographics rather than traditional text to introduce the firm and its opportunities, and were impressed by the clear list of the firm's core values. It was designed by 33. Our fourth advert is also from a law firm, this time Hogan Lovells. With its dynamic montage of images, this advert provided students with a glimpse of the exciting work that the firm's lawyers do around the world. Job hunters liked the advert's headline and thought the infographics were an effective way to summarise the firm's graduate recruitment. The advert was produced by Stafford Long. The next shortlisted advert is from accounting and professional services firm KPMG. Students were full of praise for the inspirational image that forms the basis of the advert and felt it worked well with the headline. They liked the detail provided about the firm and thought it gave a clear brief on the graduate roles available at KPMG. It was produced by Blackridge Communications. The last of this year's leading adverts is from Police Now. The vibrant background imagery caught students' attention and gave a hint of the diverse range of exciting work carried out by police officers on its 2-year programme. Finalists liked the advert's catchy slogans and taglines and were impressed by the inclusion of the scheme's diversity data. The advert was produced by Renegade. So, a short list of 6 striking and impactful adverts, but which one of this year's finalists awarded top marks to? The winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award 2020 for Best Advert is Hogan Lovells. Well, that's a great result for Hogan Lovells, and the second year running they've won this award. Previous winners of Best Advert include the Royal Navy, who's won the award 6 times in the last decade, and Teach First, who scooped the award twice. Our second award for Best Graduate Recruitment Marketing looks at social media. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram provide a powerful way for graduate employers to engage directly with job hunters. We know from our latest student survey that over half of the class of 2020 turned to LinkedIn and a fifth used Facebook during the different stages of their job search. But which graduate recruiters have made the grade on social media? These are the 6 that have most impressed student job hunters this year. The first on our shortlist for this year's Social Media Award is the Facebook page from the British Army. The inspiring cover video made a memorable first impression and created real excitement about a career in the Army. Students found the many photographs, videos and interactive elements on the page engaging and felt the frequent posts provided a genuine insight into life in the Army. The page was produced by 33. Our next shortlisted social media is the Facebook page from Deutsche Bank. Job hunters were drawn to the colourful cover video and were impressed by the variety and relevance of the posts provided on the page. They praised the range of striking photographs and the case studies showcasing different aspects of working life within the bank. It was produced by 33. Next up is the Facebook page from law firm Herbert Smith Freehills. Finalists liked the striking cover image and the range of videos highlighting different aspects of working at the firm. Students thought the posts addressed a wide variety of topics and were especially enthusiastic about those that helped dispel myths about a career in law. They also liked the live Q&A sessions with recruiters. The page was produced by 33. The fourth shortlisted employer is also from the legal sector, Hogan Lovells, for its Facebook page. The attention-grabbing cover video made a lasting impression, and job hunters were impressed by the wealth of information provided throughout the page. Students liked the engaging Q&A style videos and enjoyed the firm's Global Game Changers Challenge. They also appreciated the prominent Call Now button to get in touch with the firm's recruiters. The page was produced by Stafford Long in partnership with Hogan Lovells. Next on the shortlist is the Facebook page from accounting and professional services firm KPMG. Students thought the cover video provided an excellent insight into the firm and were very complimentary about the photographs and images featured on the page. They liked the variety of presentation methods used on the timeline and thought that the posts were particularly relevant for someone considering joining a Big Four firm. It was produced in-house. The final shortlisted social media is the Facebook page from the Royal Navy. This page's powerful cover video made a very strong initial impression on student job hunters. They thought the regular, detailed posts gave a highly effective illustration of careers within the Royal Navy, and there were numerous positive comments about the personal stories included across the page. It was created in-house in partnership with Great State. So those are the Facebook pages that really connected with this year's finalists. But which of the 6 has carried off the award? The winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award 2020 for Best Social Media is Hogan Lovells. Well, top marks to Hogan Lovells. That's 2 awards in a row. Since we introduced the Social Media Awards 7 years ago, this closely fought category has been won 4 times by the Royal Navy, as well as once each by the NHS, Deloitte and the Lloyds Banking Group. Now, our third award is for graduate recruitment brochures. Our latest research confirms that more than half of all graduate job hunters made use of recruitment brochures this year, often after meeting employers in person at campus events. So it's no wonder that graduate recruiters are keen to make the very best possible impression that they can in print. Let's take a look at 6 brochures that students judged to be the best of this year's literature. This year's first shortlisted brochure is from retailer Aldi. Job hunters loved its bold design, clear layout and the bright imagery used throughout. They liked the use of fold-out pages to explain the timeline of the programmes and the effective tabbing system. Many students commented that having seen the brochure, they were now planning to apply to Aldi's Graduate Area Manager programme. The brochure has 36 pages and was produced by Penna. The second of this year's leading brochures is from the British Army. There was much praise for the well-written content, which students felt provided a clear description of the many career opportunities on offer. Job hunters thought the imagery really helped to bring a career in the army to life and were impressed with the strong focus on diversity in the case studies. The brochure is square, has 48 pages and was produced by 33. Our next brochure is from law firm Herbert Smith Freehills. The eye-catching front cover and the brochure's vibrant photography help create a particularly inviting view of life at the firm. Finalists liked the well-organised content, accessed through tab pages, and enjoyed reading about the firm's achievements, as well as the culture section that highlighted the ways in which the firm promotes diversity and well-being in the workplace. The brochure is 28 pages long and was produced by 33. This year's fourth shortlisted brochure is also from the legal sector, this time for Hogan Lovells. Students were impressed by the colourful, eye-catching spreads highlighting the firm's work and the career opportunities for students and graduates. The brochure's striking infographics and detailed guidance on the different stages of the firm's application process were particularly well received by job hunters. The brochure has 52 pages and was produced by Stafford Long. Our fifth brochure is from retailer Lidl. Job hunters liked this well-organised brochure's use of wide tabs and fold-out pages to present comprehensive information about graduate opportunities and life at the company. Students enjoyed the bold imagery used through the brochure and felt the colour palette represented the company well. The easy-to-read icons and the at-a-glance tabs were especially effective. The brochure has 32 pages and was produced by 33. The final shortlisted brochure is from RBS. This wire-bound A5 landscape design was a real hit with students because of its unusual format. Job hunters felt the colour scheme and layout represented the bank's brand well, and were impressed to see so much content presented in a concise fashion aided by a thorough tabbing system. The brochure has 40 pages and was produced in association with Tonic. So there we are, 6 exemplary brochures which have impressed student job hunters across the UK, but only one can take away this year's award. The winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Best Brochure is Herbert Smith Freehills. Well, many congratulations to the firm. They've wrestled the award away from rival law firm Simmons & Simmons, who've held it for the last 2 years running. Other past winners include Lovells and Accenture, who took the award home 3 years running. So our final recruitment marketing award is for graduate recruitment websites. We know from our latest student research that these are by far the most widely used resources when students are finding out about employers, so it's something that graduate recruiters understandably put a huge amount of time, money and effort into getting right. Let's have a look at the 6 websites that have been shortlisted for the award. The first of this year's leading websites is from Aldi. Students praise the bright imagery and clarity of information provided across this appealing site. They liked the strong navigation tools and vibrant colour scheme, and particularly appreciated the week-by-week description of the training provided on the Graduate Area Manager programme. The website was produced in association with Penna. The second shortlisted website is from Capital One. The relaxed, friendly tone and style of the website, along with its upbeat imagery, made a strong impact on job hunters and created a very positive impression of the organisation as a potential graduate employer. Students praised the site's excellent navigation and appreciated the concise way that information was presented across the site. It was produced in association with AIA. The third site in this year's shortlist is from MI5, the security service. Finalists thought this well-planned site made MI5 look an appealing and approachable employer. Excellent navigation, effective imagery, and interactive features like the skills quizzes helped give job hunters a clearer understanding of the organisation, its work, and the career opportunities available for graduates. The website was produced by MI5 in partnership with its agency. Our next website is from consulting firm Newton. Students were impressed by the modern layout of the homepage, which provided an excellent overview of the firm and its opportunities. Job hunters liked the site's vibrant colour scheme, strong navigation, and comprehensive information, and felt the imagery and messaging across the site really helped to illustrate the firm's culture. The website was produced by Blackridge and Elegant. This year's fifth website is from RBS. Students appreciated this engaging site's simple, clean-looking design and clear layout, which allowed them to easily find the information they were looking for. Job hunters thought the Find Your Path feature helped narrow down the multitude of opportunities at the bank in a fun and engaging way, and commented that the day in the life video was especially useful. The website was produced in-house. The last of this year's top websites is from the Royal Navy. Job hunters enjoyed the engaging video on the homepage and were impressed by the dramatic, eye-catching imagery that was used across the site. They felt it provided a vivid description of life in the Navy and an excellent overview of the wide variety of career opportunities on offer. The website was produced in-house in partnership with Great State. There we have it, 6 outstanding graduate recruitment websites, but which of these do final year students rate as this year's top site? The winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Best Graduate Website is Capital One. Well, that's a really good result for Capital One and the first time they've won at the Times Graduate Recruitment Awards. Past winners include Hogan Lovells and the Lloyds Banking Group, who've each won the best website twice. But there's always stiff competition from employers in many different sectors for this prestigious award. So that completes the awards for the best graduate recruitment marketing campaigns in 2020. Our next group of awards are for the employers of choice within each area of the different areas that graduates join after university. All of the awards are based on votes from the 19,863 final year students who took part in our face-to-face interviews for the UK Graduate Careers Survey at the end of February. Students who'd made applications to graduate employers in individual areas such as engineering, investment banking and marketing were asked, out of the applications they'd made, who did they most want to work for. There are 21 different awards to look forward to, but don't worry, we'll be speeding through them. But let me just explain how I'll be announcing the awards. Within each category, I'll be reading out the runners-up in reverse order, so third place, followed by second place, before revealing this year's winner. So, our first sector is accountancy. Now, throughout the last 2 decades, it's been Britain's largest private sector employer of graduates, and the sector continues to be dominated by the big 4 firms, Deloitte, EY, KPMG and PwC, who together recruited more than 4,500 graduates last year. But there are more than 30 other national and regional firms that recruit graduates for trainee positions. Despite all the vacancies, though, the number of students applying for accountancy roles remains at one of its lowest levels for over a decade. The runners-up for this year's award are KPMG and Deloitte, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Accountancy is PwC. Well done to PwC. Despite all the competition within the sector, they've held on to this award now for an impressive 21 consecutive years and have had another resounding win this year. The previous winners for the sector were KPMG in 1998 and Arthur Andersen in 1997. Now, our next sector is one of 3 new categories that we presented for the first time at the awards 2 years ago. Actuaries evaluate, manage and advise on financial risk using their knowledge of business and economics, together with their understanding of probability theory, statistics and investment theory to provide strategic, commercial and financial advice. Well, you may have gathered from all that it's one of the more specialist destinations for graduates, but there's more than 40 major employers offering entry roles for actuarial work, whether it's at specialist consultancies, insurance companies or the big 4 professional services firms. The runners-up for this year's award are Aon and Deloitte, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for actuarial work is PwC. Well done to PwC on being named our Graduate Employer of Choice for the 3rd time, and for, of course, scooping their 2nd award today. Our next category is asset and investment management, and that's another that we introduced to the awards for the first time in 2018. Now, not to be confused with its near cousin investment banking, asset and investment management or fund management is all about managing money by investing it in a variety of different assets, such as shares or bonds. And for new graduates, it offers some of the highest starting salaries and the chance to work at some of the best known names in the world of finance. The runners-up for this award, well, it's Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Asset and Investment Management, it's BlackRock. Well, congratulations to BlackRock. That's 3 years in a row that they've been named Graduate Employer of Choice for this category. Our fourth sector is buying and purchasing. It may be one of the more niche destinations for new graduates, but there are roles in buying or purchasing in almost every major industry, from finance to manufacturing, retail and construction. They all need experts to procure the components, merchandise, products and services that their businesses rely on. The runners-up for this award are TJX Europe, they're the owners of TK Maxx, and Marks & Spencer, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for buying and purchasing is ASOS. Well, that's a great result for online retailer ASOS. They won the inaugural Buying and Purchasing Award 2 years ago and have done it again for the third time this year. Now then, the charity and voluntary sector has long been a popular destination for new graduates. We know from this year's finalists that the sector is currently in 5th place in terms of applications from graduate job hunters, putting it ahead of areas like accountancy, investment banking, law and engineering. The runners-up for the award, well, they're UNICEF and Amnesty International, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for charity and voluntary work is Oxfam. So this marks the 12th year running that Oxfam have won this award since it was first introduced in 2009. Well done to them. So let's take a look at the consulting sector. Over the last decade, there's been a huge surge in interest in careers in consulting, so much so that the number of students and graduates hoping to work in consulting has doubled since 2010. And an unprecedented 18.7% of students graduating this summer were hoping to work in the sector, making it the #1 destination for the class of 2020. So consulting is very much the place to be for this year's graduates. Who do they most want to work for? Well, the runners-up for this year's award, McKinsey & Company and Deloitte, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for consulting, it's PwC. Well, that's the third of the award of the day for PwC and the 7th year that they've been the top choice for consulting. Accenture and its former self, Andersen Consulting, won the sector every year since our award started, until 2013, when Deloitte was the favourite for the sector. So, on to our 7th career area. The engineering sector is one of the most competitive in graduate recruitment. There's well over 250 employers regularly recruiting engineering students across the UK, from major international manufacturers to small specialist consulting firms. We know from the class of 2020 that engineering roles are the 12th most popular destination for new graduates. But which of the country's top engineering employers have captured the imagination of job hunters this year? The runners-up are Arup and BAE Systems, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Engineering is Rolls-Royce. Many congratulations to Rolls-Royce. They lost out to BP 6 years ago, but this is an award they've made very much their own. The sector's always a hard-fought one, but Rolls-Royce have now won the award 14 times in the last 20 years. Our next award is for the finance sector. Now, it's a very wide field and includes graduate opportunities at Britain's high street banks, the leading insurance companies, wealth management and the professional services firms, as well as the finance functions of other non-financial employers. For the class of 2020, it was the 8th most popular career destination. And within the voting, the careers within the sector, students named over 150 different employers. Our runners-up are Barclays and JP Morgan, but the winner of this year's award for finance goes to HSBC. Well done, HSBC. That's the 6th year in a row that they've won this award. For more than 2 decades, they've vied with arch rivals Barclays for this hotly contested category, with PwC the winners in 2004 and 2009. So, on to general management. This is the broadest category within the awards and is focused very directly at students who are looking to join a management development programme after university rather than specialise in a particular function. The employers that students have voted for in the sector include engineering and industrial companies, the big retailers, banks, consumer goods manufacturers, and public sector employers, amongst many others. So who is the top choice for general management in 2020? Well, the runners-up are PwC and the NHS, but the winner is Aldi. Congratulations to Aldi and its trainee area management programme. That's the 12th time it's won the award. Last year's winner, the NHS, had been the top choice 5 times in this highly competitive sector. That brings us on to the human resources sector, the spiritual home of graduate recruiters. It's another sector that has a very, very wide range of different types of graduate employer, and finalists voted for technology companies, banking groups, broadcasters, professional services firms, and retailers, to name but a few. For this year's finalists, it was the 10th most popular destination. So who is the graduate of choice for human resources? The runners-up are PwC and Deloitte, but the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Human Resources goes to the civil service. Well, that's a great result for the civil service, and it's the 3rd year running that they've won the award. It's been a runner-up several times, but had never won until 2018. It's a keenly fought sector that the NHS has won 6 times, and Unilever on 5 occasions. So we're halfway through our graduate employers of choice for 2020, and it means it's time for the investment banking sector. Our latest survey results confirm the number of students applying for investment banking has increased, and it's the 6th most popular destination for this year's finalists. Between them, finalists voted for more than 50 different individual banks, but who has come out on top? This year's runners-up are HSBC and Goldman Sachs, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award is JP Morgan. Well, that's another big win for JP Morgan. For more than 2 decades, they've tussled with Goldman Sachs for this award, and this is their 4th year running that JP Morgan has come out on top. Congratulations to them for retaining the award. The legal sector has to be one of the most competitive sectors in graduate recruitment, and law students have voted for more than 140 different firms when they're voting for this award. For the class of 2020, a career in law was the 7th most popular destination for new graduates, but which firm is this year's winner for the sector? The runners-up are Allen & Overy and Linklaters, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Law is Clifford Chance. Well, that's a great result for the firm, and the 8th time it's won the award over the last 2 decades. It's always been a close fight between Clifford Chance and Allen & Overy, who've scooped the award 9 times since 2010. Now, that brings us on to the marketing sector. There's rarely a shortage of applicants for marketing roles. 1 in 7 from the class of 2020 have applied to work in the sector, making it the 3rd most popular destination for new graduates this year. It's no surprise that top marketing employers regularly attract more than 150 applications per vacancy. But which organisation is students' first choice? The runners-up are Procter & Gamble and L'Oreal, but the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Marketing, it goes to Unilever. That's another good win for Unilever, who've now retained the marketing award for 9 years running. Before that, it was Procter & Gamble who'd won the award every year for more than a decade. Well, if you thought marketing was a popular destination, then media is another that's highly sought after by new graduates. It's been a top 3 destination for university leavers for every year of the last decade, and 1 in 6 of this year's finalists have been applying for media jobs. An estimated 50,000 students vie each year to work in areas like broadcasting, journalism, advertising, PR, or the film industry. There are few formal graduate programmes within the sector, but there's plenty of well-known organisations that new graduates aspire to work for if only they can find a way in. So who's won this year's Graduate Employer of Choice for Media? The runners-up are ITV and the Guardian Media Group, but with the biggest margin of any of this year's awards, the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for the media, it's the BBC. Well, many congratulations to the indomitable BBC. It's overwhelmed this category every year since it was first introduced in 1999 and has again polled more votes than the rest of this year's top 5 media employers put together. That brings us on to property. Now, it's one of the more specialist destinations for new graduates. This year, it's been ranked number 23 in the list of sectors that finalists have been applying for. It's dominated by the leading real estate agents and property management firms. But which employer has come out on top for the sector? Well, the runners-up are CBRE and JLL. But the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for property this year goes to Savills. Well done to them. They've won this award each year since it was introduced in 2007 and are again the clear favourite in the sector this year. On to our next award and the public sector. It's become one of the biggest recruiters for new graduates as more and more students choose jobs where they can give something back after university. Now, 1 in 6 final year students in the class of 2020 has applied for jobs in the sector, but which organisation do they judge to be the leading employer for graduates? The runners-up are Teach First and the NHS, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for the public sector, it's the civil service. So it's well done to the civil service. It lost out to Teach First for the 3 years to 2014, but the civil service has now been the winner of this award 11 times since it was introduced in 2007. Our next award is for research and development. Now, R&D has been consistently in students' top 10 career choices over the last decade, and this year is no exception. It's ranked 4th by the class of 2020, particularly for some students from science and technology backgrounds. They voted for a very wide range of employers, including oil companies, pharmaceutical companies, consumer goods firms, government departments, and of course the leading charities. The runners-up are AstraZeneca and the NHS, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award is GSK. So that's top marks once again for GSK. They and their predecessors, Glaxo Wellcome, have been the undisputed leader of the sector every year since 1998. And the 2019 result is just as emphatic as ever. So we've got just 4 sectors to go, and the next is retailing. This award is always one of the most closely contested at the Times Graduate Recruitment Awards. We know that this year's no exception, with students voting for almost every major name on the high street and beyond. The sector's a very tough sell for graduate recruiters, though, and interest in retail has halved in the last 5 years, taking it towards the bottom of students' preferred destinations in 2020. The runners-up for this year's award are Marks & Spencer and the John Lewis Partnership, but the winner is Aldi. Well, that's an impressive win for Aldi and their second award today. They were named retail's top employer for the first time last year. M&S and the John Lewis Partnership have won the award a total of 19 times between them. So from retail to sales. It may only be students' 14th most popular career destination for 2020, but there's no shortage of opportunities. From consumer goods companies and technology firms to manufacturing companies, engineering firms and retailers. In this year's voting, finalists mentioned more than 170 different employers, but which has come out on top? The runners-up are Amazon and Procter & Gamble, but the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for sales, it goes to Unilever. Well done. That's the second award of the day for Unilever and the 8th time the company has been the Graduate Employer of Choice for sales. This award's been a 3-way competition with the John Lewis Partnership, who won it 4 times in 5 years, and of course Procter & Gamble, who dominated the sector until 2010. Our penultimate sector is technology, and recruiters in many different industries and business areas will know just how hard it is to find quality graduates to work in IT and technology roles. We know from this year's survey that nearly 1 in 10 students from the class of 2020 are interested in technology jobs, making the sector the 9th most popular destination for new graduates. Within the sector, students have nominated all of the well-known IT, hardware and software companies and consulting firms. But who is their employer of choice for 2020? The runners-up are IBM and Microsoft, but the Times Graduate Recruitment Award for Technology, it goes to Google. Well done to Google. That's 7 years running. It's won the technology sector. They caused quite a stir in 2014 when they finally prized the award off IBM, who'd won every year since the awards first started. That brings us on to our final sector, transport and logistics. This is another of the specialist destinations for university leavers, with graduate programmes at the major haulage firms, international couriers, airlines, rail companies and high street retailers, all in contention for the award. So who is the leading employer in the sector? The runners-up are DHL and Transport for London, but the winner of the Times Graduate Recruitment Award is Network Rail. Many congratulations to Network Rail. They've won the award for the 4th year running, ahead of rivals TfL, who've been winners in the sector 9 times since the award was first introduced in 2007. So that's it for the Graduate Employers of Choice and the Best Graduate Recruitment Marketing Awards. We've announced 25 of today's awards already. That means we've got just one more thing to do. We were very proud that the Times Top 100 Graduate Employers celebrated its 20th edition in 2018 and continues to provide nationwide recognition for the UK's most successful graduate employers. Since the first edition in 1999, more than 220 employers have featured in the Top 100 rankings, and in this year's voting, final year students nominated more than 1,500 regional, national and international graduate employers. So who has made it into the Top 100 for 2020? It's time for the countdown. (19,863) final year students voted in one of the UK's largest ever polls to find out which employers offer the best opportunities for graduates. Can the civil service make it 2 years in a row as the country's leading employer? Will PwC retake the top spot, or do we have a new number one? The votes have been counted, checked and verified at the High Flyers Research Centre, and we can now confirm the results. 15 employers have made it to their highest ever positions, 41 have slipped down the rankings, and we have 8 new entries. This is the Times Top 100 Graduate Employers for 2020. We start the countdown with car manufacturer BMW. They're back into the top 100 at number 100. At 99, Hogan Lovells slide back 10 places, the first of 12 law firms in this year's rankings. And at 98, it's a sharp drop of 28 places for the Bank of England. With 2 new entries in a row for Samsung at 97, and welcome back to the Environment Agency. After a gap of 11 years, they're at number 96. Engineering company Mott MacDonald nudges up to number 95. Law firm Pinson Mason slipped 10 places to 94. And at 93, there's a big drop for online retailer ASOS. It's down 19 places. But Grant Thornton's heading in the right direction at 92. They're one of 5 accounting and professional service firms in this year's rankings. Next, with 2 brand new entries, it's hello to US electric car maker Tesla. It makes its top 100 debut at 91. And global finance giant American Express are in for the first time at number 90. At 89, the Government Communications Headquarters GCHQ moves up 6 places, and the Charity Works programme is up to 88. Technology company TPP slips back to number 87, and at 86, it's a drop of 19 places for retailer and pharmacist's Boots. The property firm Savills is back into the top 100 at number 85. The Royal Air Force lands at 84, but at 83, it's congratulations to Capital One. It's returned to the rankings for the first time since 2002. Welcome is down 14 places to number 82. And at 81, we've another big faller. Siemens dropped 27 places from last year's number 54. So let's have our first recap from 100 to 81. It's back to the countdown with McDonald's at 80, up 8 places. And it's well done to insurance company Admiral. It was a new entry in 2019, has jumped 17 places to this year's number 79. Investment bank UBS drops down to 78. But at 77, there's some great news for Channel 4 television. It's returned to the top 100 after a 6-year absence, and it's this year's highest new entry. Citi is another investment bank slipping back in the rankings to number 76. But the law firm CMS is up 15 places to 75. Facebook moves up to number 74. At 73, it's congratulations to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. It's one of our highest climbers, after jumping 27 places from last year's number 100. ExxonMobil is the first of 3 oil and energy companies to slide down this year's rankings. It's now at number 72. Local government is one of 12 public sector employers in the new top 100. They're at 71. Freshfields, Brookhouse, Derringer is another law firm on the up, climbing 13 to number 70. Investment managers BlackRock are up to 69, but Marks & Spencer tumbles another 12 places to number 68, its lowest position in the top 100 so far. Consulting firm Bain moves up to 67. Law firm Slaughter & May dropped back to 66, but here come 3 climbers in a row. At 65, one of last year's highest new entries, global technology Huawei races up 21 places. There's a jump of 16 places for investment bank Deutsche Bank at 64, and Network Rail are on the right track, up 9 at 63. Tesco are heading in the wrong direction at 62, but at number 61, there's some great news for law firm White & Case. It's this year's joint highest climber, up 32 places from last year's number 93. So let's recap on our numbers from 80 to 61. We return to the countdown with an impressive result for Vodafone. It's returned to the top 100 for the first time in 9 years in 2019 and has jumped 27 places this year to number 60. Lawyers Baker & McKenzie are up 4 to 59. Chocolate to pet food group Mars slipped 1 place at number 58, but media and technology group Bloomberg climbed to 57. At 56, pharmaceuticals group AstraZeneca is down 10 places. After a big drop last year, law firm Herbert Smith Freehills is back up 11 places to 55. But Apple has tumbled out of the top 40 to its lowest level for more than a decade. It's at 54. Engineering firm Atkins has also dropped back, down 10 places to 53. But there's better news for Aecon. Last year's highest climber is up another 9 places to its best position yet at number 52. And just missing out on a place in the top 50, we salute the Royal Navy at number 51. We're into the top half of the new rankings with Penguin Random House. At 49, it's a good result for L'Oreal. After dropping to number 85 2 years ago, it's back in the top 50. BT is up 3 places to number 48. And at 47, here's something MI5, the security service, won't need to keep secret. It's up again to its highest ranking for 10 years. The Boston Consulting Group has slid back 11 places to number 46. Airbus is also down to 45. But congratulations to law firm DLA Piper. It's jumped an impressive 32 places from last year's 76 to this year's number 44, making the firm this year's joint highest climber. At 43, it's investment bank Morgan Stanley. But there's some disappointing news for oil and energy company Shell. It's dropped out of the top 40 for the first time since the top 100 launched in 1999. And at number 41, it's a climb of 9 places for Dyson. So we'll have our next recap from 60 through to 41. We're back to the countdown with the first of 5 schemes that are transforming society by bringing top graduates into public service. The Think Ahead Mental Health Programme is at number 40 in this year's top 100. Motor manufacturers Jaguar Land Rover slipped back another 6 places to number 39. Law firm Allen & Overy are also down 6 places to 38. But at 37, it's a climb of 5 places for Frontline, the scheme that recruits new graduates for children's social work. And one place ahead of them, it's well done to Unlocked, the programme recruiting graduates to work in the prison service. It was last year's highest new entry at number 49. It's now up 13 places to number 36. But it's a difficult result for BP. It's out of the top 30 for the first time, falling 13 places to 35. At 34, it's a slide of 3 places for consumer goods company Procter & Gamble. With 2 major banks heading in the wrong direction, RBS fall back to number 33, and the Lloyds Banking Group are down to 32. It's better news though for BAE Systems. It's up 6 places to this year's number 31. Into the top 30, and it's a climb of 8 places for Sky, taking it to its highest ranking so far in the top 100. And the good news doesn't stop there. At 29, the Police Now scheme is one of this year's biggest winners. After appearing as a new entry just 2 years ago, it was our highest climber in 2019, and now it's up another 18 places. Design and engineering firm Arup are up 6 places to number 28. Microsoft nudge up 1 to 27, but there's a great result for Lawyers Linklaters at number 26. It's up an impressive 19 places to its best ever ranking in the top 100. At 25, technology and consulting giant IBM fall back 4 places. But at 24, well done to Clifford Chance. It's up 2 places to its highest ever position and is confirmed as this year's top-ranking law firm. There's a good result too for the Army. It marches up 7 places to number 23, its best ranking for 8 years. With 2 consulting firms just missing out on a place in this year's top 20. After a big climb in last year's rankings, Newton drops back 3 places to number 22. And McKinsey & Company are down 1 place to number 21. So to our final recap before the all-new top 20. Back to the countdown, and we start with some better news for Accenture. After a disappointing result in 2019, it's back up 7 places to number 20. At 19, engineering giants Rolls-Royce are down 4 places. There's a return to form for discount retailer Lidl at number 18. It dropped to 24th place last year, but it's back in the top 20 with a climb of 6 places. And we've another employer on the up. There's another great result for online retailer Amazon. It was a new entry at number 81 in 2015 and has risen through the ranks each year since. It's up again to number 17. One of the city's top investment banks, Goldman Sachs, is a non-mover at number 16. Barclays are at number 15, making this the 4th year running that the bank has moved up the rankings. And at 14, we're staying with the banking world. HSBC slide back 2 places from last year's number 12. Consumer goods company Unilever remain at number 13 for the 2nd year running. And at number 12, EY are the first of the big 4 accounting and professional services firms in this year's top 100. It dropped out of the top 10 last year and has slipped another place this time. But there's some better news at number 11 for pharmaceuticals giant GSK. It's back up 4 places after a dip in 2019 and has only just missed out on a place in this year's top 10. So to our final recap before the all-important new top 10. So back to the countdown. The employer at number 10 won its sector for 8 of the last 9 years at the Times Graduate Recruitment Awards, but until last year, they'd never made it into the top 10 employers. JP Morgan is this year's top-rated investment bank and is a non-mover at number 10. Up next, it's an employer that's been ranked in the top 10 12 times in the last 15 years, has spent 2 years within the top 5 and is the voice of the nation. The BBC spent a 2nd year at number 9. On to number 8, and an employer that first appeared in the top 100 in 2003, has spent 7 years in our top 5 and has recruited almost 20,000 graduates to work in schools across the country to tackle educational disadvantage. Teach First remains at number 8. Just ahead of Teach First, we have the second of the big 4 accounting and professional services firms, but which one is ranked at number 7? It's KPMG, down 1 place from last year. At number 6, it's one of the most ambitious and fastest growing employers of the last 2 decades. After appearing in the top 100 as a new entry in 2005, it's risen up the ranks 10 times in 14 years. This year though, it slipped out of the top 5 for the first time since 2014. Google is down 2 places to number 6. So we have just 5 employers to go. The employer at number 5 has been one of the country's most talked about graduate programs and has been ranked in the top 100 every year for the last 14 years. It's down 2 places. Aldi is at number 5. Up next is the UK's largest employer and has been ranked in the top 10 for 18 years running. This year it moves up 1 place to its highest ever ranking. All power to the NHS. It's at number 4. We're very nearly there, but who are this year's top 3 employers? We start with an employer that recruits over 1,000 new graduates annually. It's the third of the big 4 accounting and professional services firms in this year's top 100, but which one is at number 3? Moving up 4 places, it's well done to Deloitte. It's back in the top 3 for the first time in 6 years. So there are 2 places left. Both of our remaining employers regularly recruit over 1,000 graduates each year. Both consistently attract tens of thousands of applications for their well-respected and prestigious graduate programs, and both have held the accolade of being voted the UK's #1 graduate employer in the Times Top 100 Graduate Employers. But has the civil service held on to the top spot, or has PwC returned to the position it held for 15 years? The employer at number 2 in the Times Top 100 Graduate Employers 2020 is PwC. Which means for the 2nd year running, the civil service is officially the UK's #1 graduate employers. Many congratulations to the whole team at the Civil Service Fast Stream. This year's new rankings include graduate employers from 16 different industries and business sectors, and there are 39 organisations who've appeared in the top 100 every year since the first edition in 1999. So that brings us almost to the end of our special programme. Well done to all of the award winners, the runners-up in the individual sectors, our shortlisted employers in the marketing awards, and of course to all the employers featured in the new Times Top 100 Graduate Employers for 2020. Now we'll be emailing out a list of the award winners later on this afternoon to everyone who've received an invitation to watch today's programme, and our full guide to the awards will be available to download from Monday morning. Now, I should also mention that this isn't the only Top 100 we'll be counting down this year. We're delighted that we're working with the National Apprenticeship Service to launch a brand new Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers. Now, entries are open and there's more information available on www.topapprenticeshipemployers.co.uk. I want to finish with a few brief thank yous to my amazing team at High Flyers Research who've worked so hard to produce this year's survey, to the 60 national and international employers who commission and support our annual research programme, to the fantastic crew here at Celebro Studios who pulled everything together for us at just 3 days' notice, and finally, to you for joining us for today's broadcast. The voice in my ear tells me that we've had over 500 of you watching since 2 o'clock, which is a fantastic result. And it means I can tell my son Tom that for one day only, I've been a YouTuber. We will, of course, be staying in touch in a whole variety of ways in the coming weeks and months, and we'll be back with our usual programme of events later in the year to help support you and your graduate recruitment in the months ahead. Now, you don't need me to say it, but look after yourselves and each other, and we'll see you again soon. From all of us at High Flyers Research, goodbye.